The 2025 MotoGP season is slowly transforming into a grand stage dominated by one name, Marquez. However, behind this seemingly perfect dominance lies a far more complex and ambitious long-term strategy. MotoGP legend and former Ducati world champion Casey Stoner has just revealed a master plan devised by Gigi Dall'Igna and the Ducati technical team. This plan involves Marquez as the center of power. Is Ducati executing a hidden plot to dominate the future of MotoGP? Let's discuss it. When news of Marquez's move to Ducati was announced, the MotoGP world was shocked. Many assumed it was just a fleeting maneuver to achieve instant glory. However, according to Stoner, that assumption is far-fetched. This isn't just about the 2025 title. This is Ducati's way of securing its future for the new MotoGP era in 2027. When 850cc engines will be introduced and development will be frozen for 2 seasons, he explained, with increasingly stringent regulations, Ducati can no longer rely solely on the superiority of the Desmosedici engine. They need more than that. They need a rider capable of overcoming circuits, weather, and technical limitations. According to Stoner, there's no better name than Mark. According to Stoner, Gigi Dall'Igna was the only one who saw this direction ahead of the others. Signing Marquez wasn't just for this year's trophy. It was also to keep the Ducati dynasty afloat amid new regulations that threaten all manufacturers. The first half of the 2025 season is over, and the statistics speak for themselves. 11 sprint race wins, 9 main race wins. Only 1 retirement, the rest absolute dominance. These extraordinary achievements are all the work of one man, Marquez. What makes him so exceptional? Even more astonishing is that Marquez achieved this on the same bike ridden by 5 other Ducati riders, including the reigning world champion, Pecco Bagnaia. What Marquez did clearly demonstrates that victory is determined not only by the bike, but also by the rider, asserts Casey Stoner, MotoGP legend, who knows all too well how difficult it is to turn a great bike into a winning weapon. Interestingly, all current Ducati riders use the Desmosedici GP25, the latest generation of bikes touted as the pinnacle of baloney technology. Yet, ironically, only Marquez has been able to consistently finish in the top positions. Last year, Ducati satellite teams like Pramac and VR46 could easily break into the top 5. Now, however, the power structure has changed drastically. Only Marquez remains at the top. Stoner concluded bluntly that the Desmosedici GP25 project has reached its peak. There's no more hidden potential to be tapped into from a technical standpoint. Now, Marquez is Ducati's only bridge to the future. This is a new era, a phase where individual genius is the deciding factor in maintaining dominance while slowly developing the next generation of bikes. Another notable acknowledgement came from within Ducati itself. Piro, Ducati's test rider and chief technical developer, who has closely monitored the Desmosedici's performance, expressed his admiration. In his view, what Marquez has achieved in the first 12 rounds of the 2025 MotoGP season is extraordinary. In fact, you could say it's absurd. He won in all conditions, wet, dry, and mixed, with a variety of setups and riding styles, said Piro. That's not something just any rider can do. We examined all the telemetry data and know exactly how extreme this bike's demands are, but Marquez just danced on top of it. Piro added that Marquez's only mistake was crashing while leading the race in Austin. Other than that, nearly perfect even at Le Mans when sudden rain knocked many riders off their rhythm. Marquez kept his cool and secured second place in maneuver that shows more than just speed. He demonstrated more than just raw speed. It was instinct, strategy, and incredible mental strength. He made the Ducati look like an easy bike to beat when in fact the Desmosedici was a brutal machine. However, Marquez could beat him with precision, Piro asserted. This admission was clearly no empty talk. It was the honest testimony of someone who knows Ducati motorcycles' wild character intimately. If Piro says that Marquez is a rider like no other, then the world is truly witnessing something special in the 2025 season. Even more astonishing is that Pecco Bagnaia, a 2-time world champion and Ducati's main rider, before Marquez's arrival, acknowledged his new rival's absolute superiority. In a rare candid interview, Bagnaia couldn't hide his surprise. He admitted that he never imagined Marquez would be this strong, especially in his first season as a Ducati factory rider. "We ride the same bike, but he's like riding a bike from a different dimension," said Bagnaia, his tone expressing more awe than envy. He was almost at a loss for words to describe Marquez's extraordinary performance. In fact, Bagnaia's only win so far came when Marquez crashed in Austin. Even that podium finish didn't make him proud. "It wasn't because I was faster, but because Mark crashed," he said bitterly, as if negating the significance of his victory. But beneath his frustration and feeling of being left behind, Bagnaia displayed the courage of a true champion. Hide the fact that he was learning from Marquez. He called Marquez a rider with extraordinary control over not only the bike, but also tire pressure, race strategy, and the perfect moment to attack. Sincerely, Bagnaia admitted that Marquez was now on a different level. It was a bitter but honest admission. From that honesty, a learning process began. Jorge Lorenzo, Marquez's longtime rival, also praised him. Lorenzo has become the most objective commentator on Marquez's rise to fame. In his emotional commentary, Lorenzo stated that Marquez's fearlessness of injury sets him apart from other riders. "He's fearless. That's his main strength, especially in technical and dangerous left-hand corners. He enters with a confidence that other riders don't have," said Lorenzo. Even after enduring a serious injury and a long hiatus that caused many to doubt his career, Lorenzo says that Marquez has returned as the best version of himself. He now appears more mature and calculated, yet still has the sharpness and racing instinct that have made him feared since the beginning of his career. Lorenzo confidently stated that Marquez's performance this year has been so extraordinary that Dorna may engrave his name on the 2025 MotoGP World Championship trophy. Now, all the pieces of the puzzle are starting to fall into place. The signing of Marquez is not just transfer drama or an attempt to add to his trophy cabinet. It is the foundation of Ducati's long-term project to dominate the 850cc MotoGP era. Marquez is the ultimate weapon and the gatekeeper of Ducati's future. He allows the team to evolve while sweeping up titles on the track. This strategy is smart and well planned. So far, it's nearly perfect. While rival teams are still finding their way and formulating strategies, Ducati is already far ahead, building consistent performance. They are superior not only technically, but also mentally and experientially. Behind it all is one name that is the pivot of their movement: Marquez. The world champion is more than just a fast rider. He symbolizes Ducati's transformation and new ambition. If this is just the beginning, what are the limits for Marquez and Ducati? Who can stop them? Share your thoughts below.